Elephant. Now, as we come past our two blue diesel engines there on the left, we are going to be heading towards the home of our elephants today. But before we get there, you need to keep your eyes peeled for some of our free-roaming Bennett's wallabies. There's a few just jumping up the bank there on the right. Now, Bennett's wallabies come from Tasmania in Australia, and at this time of year, you need to keep your eyes peeled for baby joeys poking their heads out of mum's pouch. Now, when the baby joeys are born, they're absolutely tiny, barely bigger than a baked bean, and they stay in mum's pouch for up to 9 months. And because they are carried about in this pouch on mum's belly, it means that they're part of a really special group of animals called the marsupials. Now, just towards the exit of the paddock on the left, you'll be able to see two odd guinea pig-like animals. These are called Mara. You will be able to spot a lot more of them later on when I will tell you a little bit more about them. Because over on the right there, you can see our bull elephant Emmett. Now, Emmett weighs in at 4 1/4 tons, and he is the easiest elephant to tell apart from everybody else because he's got a beautiful set of ivory tusks there. Now, only male Asian elephants grow these tusks, and they tend to use them for all sorts of things, including ripping bark off trees and also storing hay and sticks down them for a little bit later on. Now, if you watch Emmett carefully today, you will notice him using his trunk to give himself a bit of a sand bath. Now, elephants will do this in the wild, not only with sand, but also with mud as well, because it helps to protect their skin. Because as you look at Emmett there, it does look like he's got a lovely layer of orange sun cream on his back. Now, here at the zoo, the elephants are very, very spoilt. You'll be able to see lots of tyres, logs and barrels that the elephants have to play with. But not only that, they get a daily shower every morning. They also get pedicures every 2 weeks, as well as getting taken out on a daily walk. Now, at the moment, 4 of our elephants are actually out and about around the zoo on their walk. And as we come back into the station, if you keep your eyes peeled once you jump off the Jumbo Express, you might be lucky enough to bump into them. But as we come round the end of the bank, you will be able to spot lots of our Mara close to the fence there. And rolling around on the ground underneath his Auntie Maya and Mum Karishma, you can spot little baby George. Now, George is one of our most mischievous elephants. He is just 1.5 years old. And as you can see, he loves nothing more than rolling around in the mud there. Now, because George is only 1.5 years old, he's still very much involved in elephant school. And I'm sure you're all wondering how on earth we get a half-ton baby elephant to do what we want. But with these guys, it's all about bribery, as George will pretty much do anything for a banana. Now, he is getting so big now that he can't actually walk underneath Mum and his Auntie Maya there. But when he was first born, he was quite capable of standing underneath all 4 of their legs without touching their bellies. Now, one of George's favourite pastimes is chasing these very odd animals that you can see in the paddock there. Got a couple more just coming up on the right. Now, these are called Mara. They come from South America. Although they do look very friendly, I wouldn't recommend getting too close behind our Mara. Their favourite way of defending themselves is by spraying their wee backwards. Now, on the train before, we did manage to spot a baby joey poking its little head out, so if you keep your eyes peeled on these wallabies, you might see that little joey poking its head out of Mum's pouch. Now, some animals that are waiting patiently for their afternoon snack are our Asian rhinos. And if you look up underneath the bridge there on the right, you'll be able to see little Karamat poking her head out in the first paddock there, and little Ajang in the second paddock. Now, these two are joined by their mums. You can just see Baluki coming out to see us. And Baluki is the perfect example of why these guys are called greater one-horned rhinos, because they do have just one horn on the front of their face. Now, unlike the elephant's tusks, which are made out of ivory, our rhino's horns are made out of keratin, which is exactly the same material that makes up your hair and fingernails. And if you were to guess what they use it for, you'd probably guess at fighting. But in actual fact, these guys are a bit more civilised, preferring to use their horns than digging around in the ground to find tasty things to eat. Now, an animal first to spit at one another when they're trying to sort out their arguments are our back-chin camels, who you can see there on the right. Now, one of the most obvious features on our camels is that set of humps there. Now, these humps are made entirely out of fat, and it means that our camels rely on them to keep them going, especially over the summer months when there's very little food available. And it also means that these guys can go for over 10 days without eating anything, and also for over 6 months without drinking any water.
Oh, yak.
Now I see one or two more, or quite a few more farmer there on the right. And on the left there you can see our herd of yak at the back. Now our yak have a really special two-layered coat with short fluffy fur which keeps them really nice and warm, a bit like us wearing an extra woolly jumper. And then on top there you can see this much coarser yard hair. Now this hair is also really, really oily, and it acts as a waterproof coat for them to keep them nice and dry. And this is quite useful for our yak because in the wild they are found mainly in the mountains of Nepal and India. Now you can also see these very large deer on the left there. These are called paired david deer. They are the first of quite a few different deer that we'll be seeing today. But they do have a very unusual name, and that's because they're named after the French priest who first discovered them in China in the 1800s. And in the middle of that mud there, you'll be able to see one of our males. Now if you watch him, he's digging his antlers into the mud at the moment, and the reason he's doing that is to decorate them, because our female deer are very fussy, choosing only to mate with the male with the most decorated antlers. And that means that unless he's got branches, mud and camel fur on his antlers, he's just not that attractive. Now through the gap in the trees you can see lots of deer spread across the huge hills today. The ones right in the distance are called swamp deer, but in the valley there you can see some slightly darker brown deer with white spots which are called steeple deer, and then these very, very pale ones which are called fallow deer. Now if you look closely you'll actually be able to see one or two fallow deer forms. They're much, much smaller, just following along there. Now fallow deer would usually be found out in Asia, and they are the perfect predator spotting machines because they've got 360-degree vision, or almost 360-degree vision, and they can also twist their ears in opposite directions. Now if you look up onto the hill you'll be able to see a fallow deer just disappear over the brow there, which had a tiny little baby with it. Now as we come along the next part of our journey, if you keep your eyes peeled in the long grass, especially along the fence line on the right there, you may well be able to catch a glimpse of one or two young fawns. Now you'll usually find that there are no adults anywhere near these youngsters, and the reason that the females leave their youngsters lying on their own is because they're much better camouflage from predators without the adults standing next to them and giving their position away. Now as we're coming down here I can actually see a young fawn. It's hiding in the stinging nettles just round the end of this tree here. Now it is right in the middle, you can see one of our adults there lying with it as well. Now this is one of our axis deer females, and if you look closely just behind it you might be able to catch a glimpse of the youngster. You can just about see its little head just turning round to look at the train there. Now axis deer are the most beautiful deer in the world. They also rely on monkeys out in the wild to spot predators for them, because being up in the trees they can see a lot further away than our deer can see on the ground. Now I did mention to you that our Asian elephants were out on their walk as we passed their paddock, and if you look towards the right hand side of the train as we head towards the tunnel today, you are going to be able to spot our elephants currently browsing on some branches there. Now the youngster that you can see right down by the fence line is Donna. Donna's 2 years old, and she's joined today by Luca, Kaylee and also Aziza as well. Now the elephants are going to be the last of the Asian animals that we see on our journey today, because we are about to head through our tunnel into Africa. So I would remind everybody to remain seated and keep your heads and hands well inside the carriages, because the tunnel gets very narrow, a little bit dark and also pretty smoky towards the exit. Welcome to Africa. As we come out of the tunnel there, over on the left you'll be able to see one of our female ostriches wandering around there. Now ostriches are the largest flightless bird in the world. They can actually run at a whopping 45 miles an hour if they want to. Now this is pretty useful if you're trying to run away from predators like lions, but here at the zoo they usually have to use their speed to run away from our gemsbok antelope. Now as we come round this bend here, you will get a view of the last animals that we'll be seeing on our journey, which are our white storks there on the right. Now if you look closely at these guys, you may well be able to spot one or two of our chicks that hatched out in May this year. They're pretty easy to spot because they've got grey legs and grey beaks rather than the orange ones that the adults have.
Well, on my channel you'll see quite a few of them in the wild.
Well, as you can see, we are almost at the end of our journey on the Jumbo Express today. Now, if you have got any questions at all about the animals that you've seen today, then do feel free to come up and ask me. And if you do want to head down to see the elephants today, all you need to do is go straight across the railway crossing and take the right-hand fork in the road and you'll be able to find them. Other than that, as we come into the station, all that's left to say is thank you very much for joining us on the Jumbo Express. I do hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon here at ZSL Whipsnade Zoo.
Okay, thankfully the rain stopped, so it's quite a good use of the rainy time to actually be under the cover here. That wasn't too bad. Right, good. That was the Great Whipsnade Railway, formerly known as the Umfolozi Railway.